Okay, so hi everybody. I'm Gene Becker. I'm from Layer. We are a mobile augmented reality company based out of Amsterdam. So augmented reality, in case folks don't know, is basically the capability of overlaying digital information onto the physical world. And it's in the mobile form, it runs on smartphones. It's a true context-aware application, making use of all the sensors in the device. GPS to know your location, compass to know which way you're facing, orientation sensors to know how you're holding the device, the camera to actually sense the surroundings. And what we do then is we basically create context-aware applications right on your smartphone. And I'm going to do this demo on the iPad because that's a good demo machine here. Okay, so this is Layer app. We run on iPhone and Android and a couple other platforms. This is the iPhone version. And what we have is a content model where developers create content for augmented reality. We call them layers, somewhat confusingly, so they run on the Layer platform. And we have a directory of them. It might remind you of sort of 1994 Yahoo in terms of the kind of directory categories we have. But let me just run a few examples of some of the layers that are out there. Spot crime takes a database of criminal acts that are located around us and plots them in augmented reality. So you can see, as I look around, you can see the cute little icons for the different kinds of crimes that have happened in the general area here. And they're overlaid in the direction that those crimes happened. Okay, so that's kind of cool, kind of fun, right? What's even more fun is when you start to look at social apps. Okay, so everybody here familiar with Instagram, the social photography app? Okay, so they have an open API, and we pull in photos from Instagram that have been taken in this area, possibly even by some of you tonight, I'm not sure. You know, and there's a picture posted 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, there's one. That looks like us, doesn't it? Okay, and so you can see basically this is just pulling in data, again, from the Instagram Open API. It's geolocated photos, and we pop it into augmented reality. Similarly, the Twitter API is a nice open API, and some tweets are geolocated. And so this is a layer called Tweeps Around, and all these layers are developed by third parties who build for our platform. So here's the Twitter avatars of people who've been tweeting. There's mine. I tweeted here a little bit ago. Maybe some other folks again in the room who've, I don't know, not a lot of Twitter folks here in the room. Okay.
Tweet more.
Tweet more, tweet more, show up in augmented reality. So let's see. So there's over 2,000 different layers in our catalog, so they pull from all sorts of different APIs as well as custom data sets. One of the cool apps is Exile on Your Street. It was actually done for Polydor Records for the re-release of the Stones album, Exile on Main Street. And the idea is that you can actually put a poster and a song in a location. So I'm going to actually try that. Okay, so here's some posters that are in the app. Let's try this one here. Okay, now I'm going to take a track from this album. Let's see, Rip This Joint's a good one. I'm going to put a message here to Joe. Whoops. It doesn't really matter, but Joe from Gene. Hi. Post it. Okay, and now it's basically placing that poster here, and with any luck, it's going to show up here. Let's see, where is the poster? There it is. Right over there. Okay, so that's Layer. Let me just run a couple of screenshots here of some other apps that I can't show you because they won't demo very well here. This is a real estate app in the Netherlands. Funda is the biggest real estate company over there. Let's see, this is a tourism app in Spain, I believe. This is a historical images layer. These are 1906 photos from Market Street in San Francisco, geolocated onto Market Street. Public art, so artists are incredibly interested in augmented reality, this whole notion of a hidden world where you can put art objects, and the city of Philadelphia has this big public art project that artists are creating for. There's architecture. This is a proposed building that wants to be built in Rotterdam, and so they've put it up in augmented reality to allow people to kind of see what it might look like before it's built. Let's see, what else we got here? Games, Woomba Mania. We even have protest layers, so people putting up things with interesting messages into hidden space. There's a Groupon layer, so you can find deals around you. Again, open APIs. This is something that was done to promote a Disney movie, The Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, last year, around outdoor advertising, location-based advertising in AR. Tweets around we saw, Instagram we saw, the Rolling Stones we saw, and that's some of the examples. So I'm Gene Becker. This is my coordinates. If you want to get in touch, either by Twitter or by email, you can get me there. So. Questions?
Great.
Yep.
So is it just geolocation, or is it also by subject matter?
So it's
So like,
okay.
Vinny told us he's going to tweet us.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be able to see that?
Okay, so the question is it just geolocation or is it by subject matter? It's primarily geolocation, primarily context aware. You can also do things like create AR that's relative to a person, so no matter where they are, they might see some things. But right now, the other thing that we're working on is actually computer vision to start recognizing objects in the scene as triggers for AR.
So something like what Vinny was saying about tweeting about this meetup, would you be able to incorporate that in your
So if people were tweeting about this meetup at this meetup, it would be really easy to see around here.
But somewhere else in the world?
Well, you could potentially write an app that would filter in that way, right? I mean, we have an open API and people can plug in the Twitter API. Yes?
So there's been a lot of heat lately about people keeping track of their geolocation and what happens to it. What do you guys think?
Okay, so the question is about geolocation and privacy, and there's definitely a lot of subjects, a lot of conversation about that. So right now, basically, our terms of service say if you're using AR, then you're consenting that you are using a location-aware app and that Layer will know where you are, but that we won't use it for any purposes other than just providing you the service.
So you won't sell it to advertisers?
So we don't rule out selling it to advertisers, but right now we're not monetizing with ads.
But do you log actually?
Sorry?
Do you log location of person?
Do we log the location of person? We do log unique IDs, but we don't keep it for any length of time. Yes.
I was reading a newspaper about the TomTom thing that the Dutch police are using TomTom GPS information to set up speed traps.
I saw that too. So that TomTom and the Dutch police are collaborating. TomTom is giving user information to the cops to know where to put the speed traps. Yeah, we're not doing that, and that kind of goes against the grain for our company values. In the back.
So you already touched on this and said you're not monetizing by means of advertising at this point. I know the app is free. I have it on my phone. I've had it for months. I have a couple of questions for you. How do you make money? And is there any way for people who develop layers to make money from all this?
Okay, so how do we make money? And can people make money in our ecosystem? And the answer is we don't make money. Right now, I mean, no, honestly, I mean, we're venture funded. We are, at this point, we have about 1.5 million active users. We think that's interesting, but it's not enough, so we're trying to scale up the platform, really try and get energy into it rather than take money out of it. We obviously have ideas for business models, but we've got enough runway that we don't have to put those into play right now. So it's free to develop for, it's free to use. We have a professional development community who actually does sell commercial services, developing layers for folks like Disney, for example. So you can, as a developer, take our platform, go out and make money. In fact, we encourage and we help our partners to do that.
I see. The way you do that is by developing a layer for somebody who pays you. It's not that people pay to use your layer. It's that whoever wants that layer to exist pays you to make it exist.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot like developing for the web, right? Okay. Other questions? Yes?
Vision for the future. I mean, because if you start developing using layer, and tomorrow you change the model, like how you make the money, and you start charging people who are going to use the API and stuff. So what's your goal or the vision for the future?
Okay, so basically, if people develop on a free platform and then we change the rules and start charging for it, You know, well, are we going to do that, and what's the future? You know, honestly, I can't rule anything out completely, but again, that really goes against the values that we have for why we're trying to do this. We're trying to enable a new medium to be created, and we really see this as being, I mean, if this was the movie industry, we're kind of at the silent film days of creating a whole new medium for expression and communication and creativity, and we don't want to kill it off by, you know, basically harming our community. It's pretty fragile, it's pretty small right now, and we need it to grow. We do see a really great future for creating experiences, for doing marketing stuff, for art, for, I mean, for protest, right? And for giving people a voice in the physical plus virtual space that's all around us.
Time for one more.
One more? Okay.
I have a question about actually the use of the app itself. We saw when you were moving the pad around that there is however many tweeters were tweeted from this room. Does the app itself allow you to sort what you want to see out of that layered content, or is it, you know, if there was 3,000 tweets, would it just all of a sudden, you know, is it going to populate that amount?
Right. So the question is, does the Layer app allow you to filter your view based on different kinds of parameters? So for instance, in the Twitter example, could you filter it in different ways against different keywords? And the answer is it's really up to the developer of that layer. So the guys that created Tweeps Around made a set of assumptions about recency and locality that are the default ways that they display. They could also build in controls that would let you as a user say, I only want to see people that are within 1 degree of my, you know, of me in my social graph, or it could be I only want to do it on a particular keyword or something like that. So it's, again, it's very much like a web services programming model. So when you're developing layers, you're creating essentially a web service that then talks to our augmented reality platform. So, so really lots of room for creativity in there.
Great.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thanks very much.